Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of the CW's The Vampire Diaries. This week we've seen Season 7, Episode 16, which is called Days of Future Past, which, of course, obviously makes me think of the X-Men. But yeah, so we finally seen the continuation of this season of both this and the originals, following a little break again, which those are just really frustrating. This is a random one all of a sudden. It was annoying. And this episode overall, it was okay. I like the fact that they've brought a lot more of the focus back to what's actually going on in that future point. We've been seeing all season and stuff, so I like that there's more focus on that. I didn't really like the fact that they went back in the past a little bit to show certain moments, but I get how it was tied together and stuff. And I'm glad that our main focus is now on that 3-year flash forward period we've been seeing. So I like that part of it. And there are certain scenes or moments here and there that I did like quite a bit, but there were also a couple decisions that were made in this episode, or a certain way the story was going for certain two characters I didn't really like too much. But we'll get into that as we get into the video. Again, I apologize for the lateness. Just in my work schedule, I'm gonna have to miss my shows sometimes, and I watch them as soon as I can and get my reviews out to you guys as soon as possible. But you guys know the situation. I don't need to apologize 100 times for it again, right? But anyway, I do regret having to do this practically every week now. But it is what it is. At least I can still watch it, at some point. So there's that. Before I get into it, before I forget to mention, Ian Somerhalder, Damon himself, actually directed this episode, which is pretty cool. Paul Wesley's done so before as well. And there were some pretty nice shots, especially with outside areas. I thought it looked pretty nice. And besides that, it was on par with any other, TVD episode, really. But, it's still cool that he likes to, put his hand into other elements that go into the show. So I can respect that. Damon, it ended, the last episode ended with him supposedly wanting to transfer the scar onto himself, and, him and Rayna supposedly coming on an agreement that, he's always been more deserving, but he gives Stefan a head start. He sort of knocks around Rayna a little bit to buy Stefan some time, because obviously he's still wrestling with what he wants to do about it. Let's see. And I said before I didn't like the going back into the past, but again it did kind of work because you got to see Stefan and Valerie spending time together, and as we've seen in a flash forward quite a while ago, they do end up falling for, they do end up hooking up again and sort of being with each other again. So in a way it was kind of good to see the time that, or some of the time it actually led up to them sort of rekindling their, old romance. So, it did make sense. Okay, maybe it's not negative anymore. But I definitely like Stefan and Valerie together a lot more than Stefan and Caroline. That's probably just because I find Valerie less annoying than Caroline. And the whole idea that Valerie to Stefan is someone he actually knew before Catherine Pierce, that's kind of a big thing for me too. But, chances are he'll probably get back to Caroline again at some point, but, yeah. I definitely wish Caroline was killed off as opposed to, the two who were in this episode, but we'll talk about that in a second, or in a few minutes anyway. Nora, she was taken by the armory, and now she's tasked with having to bring back Enzo, because Mary Louise has been infected, and she's going to die. And the only way the lady agreed to heal her is if she got Enzo back alive, to answer for why he supposedly let Rayna out. Again, there's going to be more on that later for sure. Stefan, he's still on the run from Rayna, and pretty clever, he stuck the sword into the back of this truck, which is pretty funny. Even Rayna basically had an eye roll at him doing, oh no, I gotta go a separate way to get that back, and then come back after him. That was kind of funny. Enzo finds out about, the whole Mary and Armory situation. And, he hadn't actually, broken Rayna out, if you guys remember, so he's not lying about that. I did kind of like the concentration on Enzo in this episode. For a little bit this season, it seemed like he wasn't even a factor anymore, but I'm glad he's sort of becoming a little bit more relevant to the main going-ons of the show again. So I like that. With Rayna, we basically find out a little bit more about what she's going through when she's hunting vampires down. We actually find out that she kind of feels what they do when they've been marked. She sees what they're doing, and she can kind of feel their fear and everything else they go through as well. And so in a way, she forms like a strange bond with all of them. But with Stefan, she actually admits he might be an okay person. And with that, it sort of reminds me of what the vampires go through, as far as, like feeling things more and stuff. So maybe with this, there's a chance for, another path for the Rayna character. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to do with her long term. Do I see her lasting past season 7? Most likely not, but, there's room for this character to potentially change. I kind of hope they could keep her around. She seems like she could be kind of an interesting add to the cast. More of like a mainstay cast member, I should say. But, she's been a decent antagonist this season. Definitely one of the better points of the season, even though she's not like the greatest villain they've ever had. But, so she's been fine, I think. Then we see the flashback of Stefan and Valerie kissing in the Philippines, which is, again, pretty nice scene. I liked that stuff. Again, Mary Louise only has, I think it was about a week or so to live. We find out that Valerie kept Stefan running that whole time, in part because she selfishly wanted him away from Caroline, but also because she believes that he's better off without Damon's involvement, saying that ever since they'd woken Damon back up after that, 3-year flash forward, he brought all his drama and all he is into Stefan's life again. That just brings Stefan down and kind of messes with everything in his life. They've had that discussion before in other seasons, and that's a gripe of mine I'll get to in a few minutes. Let's see, Rayna ends up getting to Stefan. Damon decides to do the scar transfer after all, because Valerie sort of pushed him to, show who he really is, someone who's going to be more in his selfish interest, or someone who's really the, somewhat of a hero or more of a good person that she's heard about but hasn't actually seen for herself as far as acting on it goes. But, we've seen Damon's development. We know that he's actually grown quite a bit, whether it's because of Elena himself or both, which, it's a little bit of both, obviously. Though, some I would like to see Damon sort of acting more on his own as opposed to, what would be good for Elena, but at the same time, or what would make Elena happy, but at the same time, Damon's kind of reverted to how he was in season 1 while he was waiting for Catherine. At the same time, I think it's obvious Damon has changed quite a bit. He can't just negate that development that was there, and I think it is still there. Let's see. Talk about Rayna feeling Stefan's pain. She even says he needs to let Damon go, and Stefan finally agrees with her. And it's kind of funny that they're touching on the story again, or this idea that Damon's ruining Stefan's life, or that Damon's such a drag, or that Damon's really just a thorn in Stefan's side that Stefan doesn't really deserve to have there. But we've seen them bond as brothers. We've seen good with Damon. We've seen Stefan and Damon share quite a few good moments together. So it feels kind of weird they're kind of trying to divide them again and bring up this idea like it wasn't already settled in the past. That's a little bit, clunky to me, I think, or repetitive, I should say. But, it is what it is. We kind of got to roll with it for watching the show. Let's see. Rayna does stab Stefan with the sword. As Damon's getting the thing transferred over to him, it stops because, of course, Stefan's now, dead, supposedly, or, trapped in the stone. Matt, we find out why he freed Rayna because, Penny's death was involved, which is a character we barely seen, and yeah, Matt's a frustrating character for sure. Because he's overstayed his welcome on the show for sure, but with how much he cares about Lane, it seems like he would see both Damon and Stefan in a little bit higher regard than just going after them because they're vampires eventually and stuff. In this bullshit this season, it's been a little bit irritating, but again, he kind of got to roll with it. And it's just a little bit odd that the whole Penny thing would outweigh everything else for the past 2 seasons, but okay, Matt. Nora and Mary, they end up making a sacrifice together, saying that at first Mary's going to do it herself, sort of break or destroy the Phoenix Stone, supposedly. I think that was the idea that they were going for there. But Nora, she doesn't want to go on without Mary, so they kind of try and destroy it together. The car explodes. And yeah, people seem pretty pissed off about, two lesbian characters dying. That's kind of been a trend with a couple shows lately. And the acting was good in the scene, and it did fit the characters. And I sort of figured Nora and Mary weren't really going to make it out of the season. I think it was kind of obvious, but at the same time, I would have liked to have seen Nora maybe stay alive. That would have been nice. She was more of a likable character, I thought, but again, it is what it is. But it was frustrating to me, I'll admit it too. But yeah, so it sort of ends with Damon and Valerie trying to help Stefan. But of course, Stefan's not killed off permanently or anything like that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode. Overall, it was an okay one. It was an alright one. Not bad. It had some higher points to it, but I'm starting to drag with the season again right now. I'm sort of like I was a little while ago. It's not bad, but it's just not. It doesn't have the spark it used to anymore, and I still do love the show. I still want to, see it through because I still have faith in how great the ending is eventually going to be, but it's just not clicking with me so much right now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if there's anything in the episode that I didn't really talk about too much or at all, feel free to leave a comment below. I always enjoy talking about any of these things with you guys. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Movie Pilot, and look for InSpoiledDead.com. Catch you guys for my originals review, and peace.